Hi there everyone, Jason back again with another book review. So the ones that I'm reviewing right now, well, the one, is book number 1 of the Jedi Academy trilogy by Kevin J. Anderson, and this is Jedi Search. So this is going to be a nice short one. It is part of a trilogy, and so basically what I'll do is I'll do a review of all of the books separately and then sort of sum up everything, most likely in a separate video or with the last review. Basically, it is, what is it? I want to say it's like 10 years after the it's 7 to 10 years after the destruction of the second Death Star, and basically the New Republic is still growing. It's still got some growing pains and everything like that, but Luke is sensing the fact that he wants to search out other Jedi candidates and create a Jedi Academy and basically bring back the Jedi Knights to basically defend and protect and help the New Republic in its quest to, be the dominant force in the galaxy. So this book, it basically deals with Luke, Han, and Leia in their quest to sort of go about what they're doing. Han Solo is trying to contact the smugglers on the spice planet of Kessel, and then Leia is awaiting the return of her 2 children from a hidden planet where they're being kept safe until they were 2 years old by her, I guess, friend and servant, Winter. And then Luke is basically trying to go look for more potential Jedi candidates. And I don't know, it was a very well-written book. I liked it very much. The structure of it worked very well. It started off with a nice, intense battle and, fun action scene, and it ended in a culmination that was really quite satisfying and left me really wanting to read the next book, which I'll probably start tomorrow. The basic premise of this is, and yes, spoilers ahead, but it's an older book. I mean, it came out in 1994, so if you haven't read this, I do apologize for spoiling some of it. But basically, it starts off with Han getting trapped on Kessel. He runs into a person who he used to run spice for, who was very unhappy with him, and so him and Chewbacca got basically kidnapped, hidden, erased from all records, and their ship stolen, and they were sent to work in the spice mines of Kessel, which is basically a series of dark tunnels where they have to live in absolute blackness and do slave labor until basically they die. But they run into a character named Kip Duron, who was a kid who was basically brought in at a very young age. I think it was about 8 or so, and he's been in the mines his entire life since then. I think he's like 20 or so now, and he has fledgling force powers. And so basically the 3 of them together are able to escape, but when they escape, they manage to run into a hidden fleet of Star Destroyers run by Admiral Dala, which this is her introduction into the series. And I've spoken about her previously in another book review that I did, where she was quite literally like the main driving force and main villain. Very cool character. I like her. She's very determined to do well. But yeah, they run into them, and what they find is Maw Installation. And Maw Installation is, again, another place where I've run into mentions of, but this is the first time that they actually find it. And basically what it is it's a place where the Empire, set up by Grand Moff Tarkin, to basically build and design and create new super weapons for the Empire to basically secure their dominance of the galaxy. This is where, what was it? Bevel Lemelisk, I think it was his name. You have to excuse me for not remembering it completely, but that's where they basically created the first Death Star that they unleashed upon the galaxy and destroyed Alderaan. So through a series of happenstance, Han and Kip and Chewbacca managed to coerce one of the scientists, Qui Zux, to allow them to escape and basically run away from the Maw with a very powerful weapon called the Sun Crusher. In the process, destroying 2 of the 4 Star Destroyers that were in its path, and also making Admiral Dala very upset. So that was that part of it. The next part of it was with Leia, who was basically waiting for Han to get back. She met up with like Lando Calrissian, sent him on a mission of his own, which was a no-go, and then waited for the return of her 2 children from a hidden planet. So she's basically trying to juggle her responsibilities as what was it, a chief of state for the New Republic, and then also a brand new mother. She's just having to get used to everything. But eventually, she starts realizing that Han is gone for a very long time, and it goes from a feeling of anger at Han for not being there and not contacting her and thinking that he's just off having fun because he's finally free, to being extremely worried that he's actually lost. So her story sort of ends there. It's a very small section of the book. But she basically starts talking with Luke and Lando and then sending them off to sort of trace Han's steps. And Luke and Lando basically, they go to Kessel and they talk with the person who trapped Han and Chewbacca. And he sort of leads them on a runaround. All they're doing is they're trying to look for any proof that that's where Han went. But eventually what they come across is the Millennium Falcon, which Morath Duel, who was the person that was running Kessel, had confiscated, sort of tried to wipe clean of any sort of identifying marks and features and records. But when they found that, they realized that Han had been there. And so they were basically trying to escape. And at the time of escaping, that's when everything sort of comes to the brilliant close, because the book was kind of slow. There wasn't too much in the way of action and intrigue in the middle of it. I mean, they were looking for a planet to put Luke's Jedi Academy. Luke had run into a couple of potentials for the Academy too. Went through sort of tests and series of things to get them to come with them. But basically it all ended up where Han and Lando met up with Chewbacca. Luke and Lando met up with Han, Chewbacca, and Lando. And let me just start that over again. I'm getting all the names confused because I literally just finished reading the book and I'm actually kind of excited right now. Like I want to start the next one like right now, but it's too late. Luke and Lando, in escaping from the forces of Kessel, run into Han, Chewie, and Kip, who are escaping the forces of Admiral Dala, and then basically meet up together and head back to Coruscant. There's a big battle. Kessel gets overrun by the Imperial Armada that came out of the Maw, which by that time is only 2 ships, but they have, massive amounts of power, massive amounts of fighters to use at their disposal, and Kessel is basically being manned by a ragtag army of whatever. So they basically get destroyed. But it ends with Luke setting up his academy on the Yavin 4, the moon where, they set up the base that was targeted by the first Death Star. And he's very excited to start his new academy. Overall, like I said, book was very well written. I only found like a couple of weird errors, but it was just like little spelling mistakes. Only found really 2 of them. So, and they're even just too small to really go over. I mean, honestly, the book was done well. And as I said previously in one of my last reviews, because I think the last book that I read was done by the same author, Kevin J. Anderson. I liked his writing style. Typically, I was a big fan of Timothy Zahn, but I think that's just because I quite literally had never read this series. But I'm very happy that I did. This whole thing where basically I've been reading nothing but the old canon Star Wars books, well, it might be getting old for the reviews because there's not much variety. It's been a lot of fun for me as I've been able to learn a lot more about what the old canon had around. Because, the old canon is done. It's been a long time since they've really written any books of this sort of nature. So it's a lot of fun. I'm sort of digging through history while also being very excited for the new lore that's coming out of the Star Wars universe. So, like I said, a very short one. I definitely recommend the book. If this book is any indication of how the series is going to go, I'm very excited to start the next one. But yeah, if you have any questions, any comments about this book, if you've read it before and you want to sort of express your feelings on it, please let me know down in the comments. I'd like to talk to people about this. It's like I almost want to start my own book club where I want to tell you, it's like, hey guys, I'm reading this book, read it. And then when I post this review, talk to me about it. But yeah, that's going to be it for right now. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Lets me know how you feel about the content that I'm producing, and also lets you know when you subscribe when I'm posting more. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let me know what you think. We'll see you guys later. Bye! On a final little note, in case you're curious, one of my favorite parts of this book was when Luke met a character named Gantoris. He was basically the leader of a small group of survivors on the planet of Eol Shah, which was basically a very volcanic, like earthquake-torn planet where they were basically just trying to eke out a survival. After Luke had basically passed his tests, which were almost like just ways to kill Luke, Gantoris was very in awe and almost frightened of him. And basically he says to him, it's like, I have dreamed of you, a dark man who offers me incredible secrets, then destroys me. I am lost if I go with you. You are a demon. It's just a really cool line. I'm excited to see more of these characters. I really am, and I want to be able to like speed read so I can get to it like now.